Wait for it. There's the applause. Every week, every Sunday, we are here listening to that applause. For you guys, for y'all. As always, thank you guys for being here on a lovely Sunday evening. So we've got some fun, interesting stuff to talk about today. And yes, as the title does say, we are going to do a build stream later, which is fun as well. I have a ton of new Warhammer figures. I guess I shouldn't say figures, but custom pieces that I need to add to some of my figures. So I thought that we could probably look at some of those, do that. But after we get into some interesting topics here. So first of all, I don't do this a lot, but I figured I would tonight, just because, I think I forget that YouTube has an algorithm every now and then, and I sometimes forget that like YouTube likes when we promote ourselves, our channels and stuff like that. Even though I try not to do it too much, I don't honestly remember the last time that I was like subscribe and like, but so if you guys are enjoying what you see on these Sunday nights, and if you guys have been enjoying the videos that I've been putting out as of late, I would encourage you can do a couple different things. You guys can either become members, and it's like a monthly subscription. I think the lowest tier is like $1.99. So you guys can be members, which as most of you, as I'm looking at you guys in the chat, most of you guys are, which is so much fun. I actually love seeing all the icons in the chat of all the channel members. It's awesome. So you guys can either do that, or you guys can do super chats on the channel as well, or super thanks. Like I believe it was Michael Salo. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But Michael, shout outs to you, brother. He gave me like a super thanks on a video, which you guys can do as well. Which like they just implemented that, which is basically like if I post a video, even if it's like a year old, you now have a super thanks function on there, which will allow you to donate to that video. So like if someone really likes that specific video, they can donate like money to that, which I thought was really cool. So thanks again to Michael. So yeah, you guys can do memberships, donations, super thanks, stream elements. I have the stream elements link pinned in the comments or in the chat to circumvent Mama Susan, as we all know, which is like, I think it's 60-40. I think it might be 70-30. Whereas like Twitch is like 50-50. Oof. Talk about oof. Corwin's Pattern Ghost. Haven't seen you in the chat before. Welcome, brother. He says, dude, killer Silver Surfer statue you have there. Thank you. Boom. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's very simple, but I think that's why it's so good, So yeah, just some ways that you guys can support. And like I said, I try not to do this often because I know that it feels very shill-ish or very, donate to my channel type of thing. But it is good. I do have to remember that this is a business. This is something that I do have to sell and something that I do have to promote to my friends, to my fans, to an audience, if I want this thing to grow and if I want this thing to succeed. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys are enjoying all this stuff, share it with your friends, which is, it's so interesting to, like, when I share stuff, I send it to other people. Like I send links out and I'll go, dude, you gotta check out this video, very, not so often, I guess I'll say, is like where I'll be in real life and I'll be like, dude, you gotta check out this content creator or this YouTuber. I normally will send links to people and I'll be like, check out this video, or hey, you should go check this guy out, or look at this guy's channel. And that's how a lot of creators, I think, grow and how they get that word of mouth in, is just like that constant flow of messaging and promoting and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, if you guys enjoy the stuff that you see, feel free to share it and promote it. I always love seeing when people post stuff, whether that's on Instagram or Twitter or whatnot. So yeah, now that boring stuff is all out of the way, because like I said, I wanted to get it out of the way. I try not to do it too often, but when I do, I got to make sure to really, really shill it up, But Soul Assassin says, respect the hustle. Hail, thank you. I appreciate it. You gotta hustle. Gotta hustle, especially with YouTube being the way that it is. Very, very few instances where you see legitimate, like very talented people growing their channel in a way that is actually accommodating to like giving them a lifestyle or a career that they would want. So it's a lot of it is right time, right place. A lot of it is who you know. So much of that stuff is very dependent, situation dependent, as the Marine Corps would say. But yeah, so now that we got that out of the way, let's say hi to you guys, and then we'll get to our first topic. Ben Cordwell was first. He says, "G'day, everyone. Hope y'all are doing well." That was a little bit better. G'day. G'day, everyone. That's pretty good. I mean, good to see you, Ben. Smile says, good evening. Shieldwall says, what's up? Nomi, Paul Bussell. Let's see. Jay, what's going on, Jay? Dr. Rachel, of course. Cajun Corey, what's going on, brother? Soul Assassin. Let's see. Corwin's Pattern Ghost. Ooh, Otaku, AK the Weeb Pillar. Good to see you as well. See, am I missing anyone? I think that's everyone for now. So yeah, like I said, it's always good seeing everyone. Thanks for being here in the chat. And Ash Lauren, hey Ash, didn't see you there. So, as the title suggests, like I said, we are going to do a build stream later on, probably in the second hour of the stream. But I wanted to discuss first masculinity and femininity. And I was like, we've discussed it before on the channel. And I think it's something that I'm extremely passionate about just because so much of like comics in general and like pop culture and entertainment has been so almost uber masculine. You know, like if you look at the 80s and you look at all the movies in the 80s, you've got like Rambo and all the Schwarzenegger movies and all the, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme and like Die Hard and just dripping with masculinity, you know, physically, metaphorically. And the 80s comics reflected that too. Same with 90s. 90s maybe even more so. 90s was interesting though because not only did you have super uber muscular dudes, but you also had into the fray like more of your sexy, sexual, feminine esque women that were hitting the comic book covers and the interior of the pages and stuff. So, and then you had guys like Michael Turner just drawing women that looked unbelievable, like beautifully perfect figures and everything. So, and honestly, some of the best faces of women too was Michael Turner did female faces like to a T. So I basically, all that being said, masculinity plays a huge part into what I think is very important and what I like hold near and dear. And so I was reading one of these books that I have like stacked up next to me here. And it got me on the topic of femininity versus masculinity and how the two kind of play into each other, especially now in 2022, right? So for context though, Soul says 90s were the average Joe heroes. Oh, well, I guess so. As opposed to like the like super strength heroics, like it was more of your like Chuck Norris's, I guess. Dr. Rachel, yeah, she goes jumping right into the topics. Absolutely. Nomi, Max, how did Hobby Lobby go the other day? No luck, Nomi. I mean, I found some fantastic Christmas decorations. That was awesome. I'll say I was there for one of two reasons. To look for my future wife or to look at Christmas decorations. I'll let you guys decide which one it was. But I didn't, I needed to try the Target next door because I just tried Hobby Lobby and then I left and I didn't have any luck. But I also went on a random day, you know what I mean? Like I went on a Tuesday in the afternoon. Like no. Or a Wednesday in the afternoon. That's not how you do it. You got to go on like a Tuesday like a Saturday or like a Saturday or Sunday in the afternoon, like right after church, going to Hobby Lobby with a coffee. Oh, you can't get any better than that. That's prime time hunting season. That's terrible. I didn't mean hunting season like that. So no luck, but like I said, I'll try Target soon. Let's see. The reason those comics and films did well is because most young men then aspire to be like the characters in some way. And I bet if deep down, even the boys... Oh, sorry, I missed that. Even the boys from today feel the same way. I would hope so. I mean, that's why I got into comic books, was because I saw Wolverine and Prophet and Darkness and Punisher on these covers, and I was like, yo, these dudes are ripped to shreds. They have veins on veins and muscles coming out of other muscles. Like, how do I look like this? It was so cool to see that. And that type of art was extremely, like, eclectic for that time. So, Ash Lauren says, what is a Hobby Lobby? Ash, Hobby Lobby is like a Michael's. It's a hobby store, essentially. It's also where I get lots of miniature stuff, like Warhammer stuff, so. So, oh, nice. Cajun Corey celebrates 7 months of a membership. 7 months already? Time flies. He says, dude, Cajun, thank you for your 7 months, my man. Hail to you. I gotta give you one of these.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.
Dude, that is awesome. Seriously, thank you for your 7 months of membership, of your brotherhood, of your friendship. Hail to you. And here's to 7 more. 777. Ooh, Hobby Lobby on a Saturday late afternoon when farmer markets are done. That's the key. That's what it is, Nomi. That's what it is. You know it. I'll heed your advice for sure. So, like I said, for context as to why I brought in masculinity and why I wanted to talk about it was because I'm writing a paper, a course paper, for my management and my organizational management class, which goes over different aspects of managing and organizing and just kind of being part of the business like environment, the business culture. And so our course paper, which is like this long research paper that is worth like half of our grade or something, you know, it's like this massive endeavor. I am going to be writing it on something that I'm passionate about, which is Marine Corps leadership. The prompt is that we have to identify a problem within an organization that we were a part of, or that we have been a part of, or are a part of currently. And so I had to decide what I wanted to do. Did I want to do something in the comic book industry, because I am very familiar with that? Did I want to do something with it, like YouTube and content creation, and like talk about issues with that, which I'm not as familiar with? Or I could look back on my previous aspect of life, which was the Marine Corps, and I could look at that and I could answer some questions and ask and look at problems that I could potentially solve, because in the Marine Corps, that's all you're doing is just problem solving. So, yeah, Cajun says, 7 months of giving my money to you. Seriously, you have great streams, dude. Thank you so much. Hey, you know what? I hope that it is well spent for you. I hope that I've made that those 7 months exciting and well worth the money. I always hope to do that. That's always my goal. John Baker, hello. Better late than never. Absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. So, So my paper is essentially going to look at the issue of leadership in the Marine Corps, specifically at let me pull it up real quick so I can discuss it in more detail. Authority over influence, or authority versus influence in leadership roles. Why is it that we're taught so heavily to be a leader as a Marine Corps officer, and to influence our Marines by serving them, by leading them into battle? But then the second we get into garrison, which is, office life, the second we get into training environments, the second we get into the minutia of what work is in the Marine Corps, it becomes authority. It becomes managerial. So what happens? Where's the disconnect between leadership, mentorship, between a man and another man, that brotherhood, and then authority? the managerial aspect of things, the lackadaisical, hey, we're just doing day-to-day operations. Get me this spreadsheet, get me that Excel sheet, give me the numbers for this, get me the roster for this, give me the PowerPoint for this, I'm going to teach this, or we're going to go over a PowerPoint about this, or give the safety briefing about this. And it's a lot of that. During the times where we aren't training, or the times that we aren't deployed, it's a lot of, managerial, just day-to-day. I think I put here in my notes, basically, productivity and efficiency, like effectiveness of the unit and efficiency during the day of like day-to-day operations, which is great, which is fine. I think you have to have both leadership and management skills in order to be able to do both. But I think officers tend to get comfortable in that managerial role, and then they're only supervising and inspecting instead of leading and mentoring. So I have all these different books, essentially, like this one is called The Warrior Ethos by Stephen Pressfield. This one is called Core Values by Zell Miller. It has like each chapter is a different core value that he said that he learned through the Marine Corps. Let me pull that up. So there are 12 core values that he says: neatness, punctuality, brotherhood, persistence, pride, respect, shame, responsibility, achievement, courage, discipline, and loyalty. And I'm looking at a lot of these like core values, if you will, and they are lacking in not just like leaders today, but like lacking in society in general. It is astonishing how few of these I can take a look at this book and go, oh yeah, that politician or that actress or actor, they're definitely loyal to a cause, or loyal to a people, or they're loyal to each other. Like the type of loyalty to a brand, maybe. People tend to be now loyal to like a cult mindset or like a group think, right? But loyalty to each other? No fucking way. Are you kidding me? Another one was discipline, like the discipline of knowing yourself, the discipline of understanding yourself, doing things that may be difficult, but ultimately for your self-interest or bettering yourself. Like that all takes like lots of discipline. A2D2, hello, welcome, and thank you for being here. A person can be a great leader and a crappy manager, and people can be good managers and weak leaders. Rarely you can find both. Absolutely, Shieldwall. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm most likely going to be going on in my paper, because it's kind of asking that question, like, is leadership something that you're just kind of born with, or is it something that you're taught? Because you can definitely be taught to be a manager, right? Like you can be taught to, supervise things, but the buy-in, the inspiration, the motivation to be a leader, I feel like that's more intrinsic, right? Like I said, there are some other ones like responsibility, respect. Like no one has. I watched that video today. I wonder if I can find it. I really don't want to bring it up because it's awful. It made me want to gouge my eyes out. But one of these is respect, right? And the lack of respect from Gen Zers, and this makes me sound old, and I'm 29. But that video of that selfish, arrogant, awful woman who was at her father's funeral and was calling him like, you're just a Trump supporting racist who's a white supremacist and all this stuff at her father's funeral. The man can't defend himself. The man can't fend for himself. He's given her everything in life. He has given her a $1 million mansion and sends her to a private school worth millions of dollars a year. And she has the audacity to go on that fucking stage and be the most evil, awful, horrible, disgusting fucking creature. To say that stuff about the man who literally raised her and gave her everything. That's why in core values, one of them is respect, and how so many people today lack that. Sorry, that's a tangent for another day. But like, can we all agree? Like that to me, like I watched that and it burns something in me where I was like, okay, can we all just like put aside our political beliefs, like right and left? Can we all just say that that's like fucking awful, right? Can we all just like just say that that's disgusting? Like, regardless of what you believe in, if you're a radical fucking leftist or a white supremacist, super far right, alt-right Nazi, can we all just agree that that was fucking heinous? I'm sorry, but like, it was one of the most like despicable things of and pathetic displays of an individual online that I've seen in a while. That's something that you can't really laugh at, you know what I mean? Because you're there's no humor in that, right? So like I said, I'm not going to pull that video up on this stream. That's a totally different stream for another day. But, in terms of these core values, in terms of what we should be holding dear is like not what the world holds dear at this point in time. Yeah. Tangent already. Less than 30 minutes in. The Gen Z is very few of them I have little hope in, and I hate to like label people, but very few Gen Zers that I have met or been introduced to or work with are at all respectable to anyone, to each other, to like other individuals around them. To themselves. They have no respect for themselves. It's wild. They're never brave enough to be able to tell you all that stuff to your face while you're still alive. Exactly, dude. And that's what, like, I was like, the man is fucking in his casket. Oh, look at you, you coward. To think that you can call this man out while he is literally in the grave. Fucking pathetic. Yeah, don't watch the rest of it. After, like, it's exactly what you expect. Like, I watched it because I was curious, and then I turned it off, and I was like, why did I watch that? It's exactly what I knew it was going to be, and I'm now angry about it, So, let's see. What else do we have? So we've got Platoon Leader, a memoir of command in combat, Command and Control. So this was like our Marine Corps textbook. So this for us was like a Marine Corps study guide, essentially. This one is War Fighting, another Marine Corps like tactical textbook. This is called Leadership, A Warrior's Art. This boy is thick, boy. He thick, boy. By Christopher Kalenda. That one is really interesting. It does like case studies of historical figures like Alexander the Great. This one is Angela Duckworth. It's called Grit. There's no cover on it. It's pretty battered. But Grit is another great one. Like, what is grit? What makes us gritty, as she says? And then this one called Tribe, which is like, what is it that what is it that makes us feel like we belong somewhere? Is it people? Is it our upbringing? Is it our place of birth? What is it that connects us to a tribe or a tribal mindset? And so I've been reading all these in preparation for my essay, which I've been trying to, or my course project, essentially, trying to get some sources on leadership as a whole. And here's finally finally, I'm bringing it back to where I was actually going with this, which is masculinity and femininity. And I'm going to read this portion out of the Warrior Ethos. And this is, you guys will know exactly what I mean when I say, is femininity the answer to masculinity, or is femininity needed for masculinity? So the Warrior Ethos by Stephen Pressfield, but one of the chapters is called Women First. And I read that and I was like, oh no, here we go. We're getting this strong female whammon. You know, the women were the Spartan warriors. They're the ones who were the warriors at the Battle of Thermopylae. The women were the one who fought off the Persians. And I was like, bro, why did I buy this book? No. But sure enough, it subverted my expectations. Because he says that based off of the poems that he read, and based off of the accounts that he had read from old tales of Spartans and Greeks, that he came to the conclusion that men would determine who to bring to battle with them based off of the wives and the women that they had married. So he says they would look to the women, to the wives and the mothers of the fallen. And in this context, he's talking about, he says Leonidas knew that the 300 Spartans that he took with him to Thermopylae would die. That was just the what word am I looking for here? That was just implied, that the Spartans that were going to be led to battle were not going to come back. The bigger question was, how would Sparta herself react to the deaths? If Sparta fell apart, all of Greece would collapse with her. But who would the Spartans themselves look to in this decisive hour? They would look to the women, to the wives and mothers of the fallen. So, yeah, Shieldwall, another great point. The women were the whole reason the men fought in the first place. It's funny because you guys see that, I don't know if y'all have seen that meme, but there's that meme where it's men did greater things in life when it was harder to see boobs. I know it's crass and I know it's crude or whatever, but this is the Max's man cave. Come on. But it's true. I mean, when you think about the things that the civilizations that have been made, the empires that have been built, the wars that have been won, I've got to think that a little bit of it is because men just wanted to see boobs. Because then they could, and I think Jerry Seinfeld has a great bit on this in his comedy skit, but he's like, why did men go to the moon? Why did we have this whole thing to go to send a man to the moon? I'm pretty sure because when he got back, he could go, hey, he could go to a bar and see a girl and be like, did you see me on TV? Yeah, that was me. I went to the moon. And guys would utilize that as probably a basis of hey, did you see what I did? Look at me, look at what I've done. I think men have this intrinsic nature to want to either fight for a woman or do something for her, to be look at what I've done for you, or look at what I could do for you. And there is, I think, something beautiful with that. I don't think that's toxic masculinity. I don't think that, that's the patriarchy. I think that's men, utilizing their skills and their strength to provide for a woman because they want to. Men just want to see boobs. Great motivation to work hard, right? Women were trained in the Spartan education like the boys, but were the last line of defense for Sparta. I believe so, Sol. And the thing about that is they were the last line of defense, but they were also the ones that were holding up the culture and the city when the men were gone. They weren't fighting on the front lines. They weren't the ones that were putting on the fucking armor and the spears and this whole stronk whammon thing that every woman has to be a man now, which is degrading to women and femininity in general. What's going on, Roman? Hail to you, brother. Hopefully you enjoyed your dinner with your beautiful wife. Yeah, know me, that's pretty good. I went to war for you and got you roses. And now I fought a troll on Twitter. Wow. Look at that. That's true bravery, true courage. So the what was the other thing I was gonna bring up on here? Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. So like I said, the women were not on the front lines saying, I'm going to fight off the Persian armies. They knew that the best way for them to serve their country and to serve not in a lesser than way. Because let me be very, very clear. There are scripture verses. There are scriptures, or there is scripture and verses that will tell you women will submit to the man. And women will take that so literally that they think, well, I'm not going to submit to the patriarchy. You know, Christianity is the patriarchy. But I think people take that out of context and don't actually realize that submitting to someone isn't becoming their slave. Submitting to someone isn't becoming their, you know, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a better word for it. So when you submit to someone, you do it because you love them. Because what you're doing is you're giving of yourself, of your time, of your life, of your whatever it is. Because you enjoy that person. You want to show that person that you love them. And it's not a submission of, you know, I am lesser than you. It's a submission of your heart, your compassion, your kindness and understanding. And I think people tend to take that text out of context and not truly understand that submissiveness doesn't have to be this nature of being lesser than or being a slave to the patriarchy. It's so much more heartfelt than that, and I think it's so much more endearing and beautiful than that, you know. So the women of Sparta understood that the best way that they could serve their country and the best way that they could serve the men and women around them and their children was to be alpha females defending the wolf pack. The warrior ethos is not, at bottom, a manifestation of only a male aggression or of the masculine will to dominance. Its foundation is society-wide. It rests on the will and resolve of, here we go, mothers and wives and daughters. And in no few instances, a female warrior as well, to defend their children, their home soil, and the values of their culture. I'm going to read that one more time because that needs to hit home for a lot of people. That needs to hit home. The warrior ethos is not, at bottom, a manifestation only of male aggression or the masculine will to dominance. Though I think the warrior ethos does come from a place of masculinity, of heroism and courage and honor. Those things can also be feminine, but not in the way that the modern world sees them. Sorry guys, hold on. I just wanted to make sure the stream was still up. Okay. I think we're still live. Yeah, it doesn't say that we're stopped. Okay. So then it says, it rests on the will and resolve of mothers and wives and daughters to defend their children, their home soil, and the values of their culture. I mean, I think that's pretty amazing, right? And why are we not seeing that? I think women have, and I can't speak for I'm not going to speak for all women. I'm not going to do that. But because I think I have to be very careful with my words. Like so many times you'll get like people clipping other individuals and like them saying women need to know their place or whatever. And it's like, no, dude, that's bullshit. Like, I think women can speak for themselves. However, in this instance, I think that masculinity has been tainted by feminine women not fighting for their men, one, for their children, for their home soil, and for the values of their culture. Because if the men are away at war, if the men are away doing the work of a soldier, which right now, I mean, where would they be doing that? I don't know, since there are no active wars currently except for in the Ukraine. But if men are away fighting a battle, the women are home protecting, fighting for their children, their home soil, and the values of their culture. What the fuck are we seeing on Twitter right now with women that are allowing their children to be horribly disfigured? What are we doing with the women that are allowing the values of our culture, of this hookup culture, to run rampant, of OnlyFans and pornography and all this like just disgusting sexual content everywhere? Where are the women calling out other women? So as much, because here's the thing too. I could sit here all night and say women need to do this and women need to do that, and it would be patriarchal and it would be misogynistic and I would be called all sorts of sexist names and all that stuff. That's fine. So if I can't speak to it, if I can't speak from a male perspective speaking to women, then it's up to the strong women, the warrior women, the mothers, the wolf pack mothers, the mama bears of our culture, of our society right now. It's up to y'all to fucking call this shit out and to reinvigorate this masculine and feminine culture. Because I think that the masculine culture is only as good as its feminine counterpart. And that's kind of the over-encompassing, arching topic that I wanted to kind of discuss here with this book, is that I think that men have fallen victim and prey to the OnlyFans of the world, the porn of the world, the fake geek girls of the world, the whatever you want to call it. They have fallen victim to this stuff, and they haven't taken responsibility for it. They have no accountability whatsoever. And so men have just become these simps. They have just have this simp mentality, this incel mentality. And we have taken no accountability or responsibility for ourselves. So that's on the men. But it starts with the femininity, and it starts with the feminine world and the feminine culture. Because if that is not able to be mended and made beautiful again, then like that just plays on this disgusting culture of the masculine world right now. And the other thing that men haven't taken accountability for, because I can speak to at least what I've seen as a guy, is that young men are desperate. They are looking so desperately for a leader, for a mentor, for someone who is courageous enough to lead them into a higher purpose, to something that isn't just fucking video games and OnlyFans. They are looking to something to give them purpose in life, to give them an adventure, to show them the way. And where are they looking for that? The place that's right in front of them, which is the internet. And who do they see? They either see fucking fake ass masculine YouTube channels that are like bitches, money, and fucking houses and cars, or they see Gen Zers that have this hookup mentality of like, get with a porn star, get with an OnlyFans chick, be a simp, be an incel for these women, or like, be so infatuated with only sex and nothing else. Like, and so they have these extremes of both sides. It's like, the kind of MGTOW ideology, which is like cars, money, houses, success, which is all like, success is great and all that stuff, but when it becomes like your entire identity. And then on the other side, you've got like, women and sex and power and all this stuff from like Gen Zers. And so you can't, there needs to be like a middle ground of someone who is going to come in and say, forget the bitches, the money, and the power, and instead replace those with honor, courage, and commitment, and see what happens. See what happens in your life. And if you are to take those things, those materialistic things in life, what's going to happen if you take those and you replace those with virtues? And I'm not talking about virtue signaling, because you can do that shit from right here in your house with your door closed and no one has to know about that shit. You can be successful and have a ton of money and power, but if your virtues start with honor and courage and commitment, then everything, and that's what you cultivate as an individual, that's what we should be preaching to these young men. Not this fucking type of lifestyle, because your lifestyle will grow into itself based off of your core values, but you have to know what those values are. If you're just chasing fucking money and cars and hoes and bitches on OnlyFans without understanding why, of course you're fucking lost as a dude. Of course you're lost in this world of all these masculine characters or pseudo-masculine characters who you think are your like ideal leaders or your ideal men to look up to, but you have no fucking clue why. It's because these guys take pride in the material things of life. And so if guys were to understand the values, then they could grow their lifestyle around that. I could have nothing in life. I get rid of all these statues and all these comics and all this streaming equipment, and I'm left with just me as a dude. And if I hold to these values of honor, courage, and commitment, I would hopefully be able to still succeed without all this shit around me and still be able to make a name for myself. So I know that was a long discussion and a long rant, and I'm really looking forward to looking at the chat because I haven't been able to see what you guys have been saying. But I think that's what we need ultimately is guys need to take accountability for them not essentially them not holding these values of honor, courage, and commitment, which sounds cliche, it sounds dumb, but I honestly think that these are all things that should be talked about. So I think men need to take responsibility and accountability for that. And I think on the flip side, on the feminine side of things, women need to start calling out these other women. I'm sorry. And I'm going to get, like I said, I'm going to get hazed and called all sorts of nasty things, sexist and a misogynist and a bigot and a patriarch and all this stuff. But I can't, if I'm going to call myself out and I'm going to call other men out, then it's only fair that I do the same for the women as well. that I call them out as well and say, this type of stuff needs to be said. And I don't think that many women are doing that. Conservative women, Christian women. And you don't even have to be conservative. I'm not even saying you have to be conservative or have any type of faith. But if you see these values fall, like these values of our world, like if you see them being taken advantage of and perverted, fuck yeah, you need to stand up, because you are the holders of our children, of our culture, of our home, you know? So, like I said, I think female warriors, not Galadriel, not Rey from Star Wars, not what other strong women, Captain Marvel. I'm not talking about those women, those strong women. I'm talking about true fierce-ass female warriors that defend their children, their home soil, and their values of their culture. I think I'll end on that. Chat, what are you guys saying? Let's see what you guys have been up to. I'm sorry I haven't seen the chat here for a moment. There's a reason why in Gladiator he says strength and honor. You know what I mean? Exactly, Drew. Giaris, man. Giaris upholds those values very well. Women have lost what it means to be feminine. Fourth wave feminism has convinced women that they don't need men and they do better than men did anyways. Soul Assassin Lagertha. Yeah, buddy, I love me some Lagertha. Smile, I'll do you one even better, and I'll say that, you know, intersectional feminism, not only is it women convinced that they don't need men, but it's women hate men. It's that women are better than men. It's not just, oh, we don't need no man, or like we're strong without a man. It's like the destruction of men. Feminism has become like a hateful cause that's meant really only to like degrade and emasculate men. Like deny them of all agency, deny them of their intrinsic nature. Like their entire purpose essentially is like thwarted with intersectional feminism. Pretty much for the sake of equality. Which is not equality at all. It's now become superiority. So, you know, equality is I'm better than you. Which doesn't really, it's not, no. Strong women is new wave feminism, basically toxic masculinity. We need actual strong women who are truly feminine. Amen, Dr. Rachel. Yes, they truly believe men are the scourge of the earth. Yeah, and that's why it's, you know, it's heinous, you know, what they have been doing. Dr. Rachel, I think you could be right, but it will be glorious. Oh, I'm missing context. I want to read that paper. Living the Hobbit life is a simple one, says Roman. But after my military career, it's a nice way to go into year 34 with Mrs. of the Empire. Hail to you in 34 years. Cheers to y'all's anniversary. Oh, interesting, Paul. Yeah. I have never even thought about it that way. Government to start destroying the family. Ben says, men protecting female space is an act of love. It is a sacrifice for something we value, allowing women to flourish in their femininity. Ben, well said, dude. Well said. Right. And I think that by me calling out women, it's almost like a cry for not help, but like this cry of like not salvation, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a cry of join me, you know? Join me in the Shieldwall. Join us together that I may value you and you may value me. Because that's what it's meant to be. And I'm sorry, I think that just rhymed. It sounded like a Barney song. But it is an act of love, man. I mean, and women, if you guys are watching this, the women in my chat, in my comments, anyone that's viewing this, if you guys see this and I am saying stuff that is sexist or misogynistic, call me out on my shit, because that makes me better. That makes me understand so much more about myself and so much more about you, that I can have those conversations in a way that is now like beneficial for everyone. So I do this as a way of like you said, Ben, out of love and respect, not as a way of like degradation. Smile says, good night all, been trying and failing to stay awake, so I headed to bed. Oh, get some good sleep, Smile. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Parents need to call out all the bad parents. Yeah, dude. We got a lot to call out. Woke teacher, bad mothers, bad behavior, bad ideas, tons of stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff that we need to discuss in general, like, you know, in our culture overall. Feminism went from we want to be equal to let's see how much men will let us get away with. Men need to call them on their crap. Any man in a relationship has seen this before. That's a good way of putting it, Shieldwall. How much can we get away with? I've not listened to Sanctus Real. I'm not sure what that is, Paul. Is Sanctus Real a YouTuber or a podcast? Ben says, I had the amazing opportunity to meet up with a group of strong, godly men a few weeks ago. It was so refreshing to be surrounded by men. We are now meeting regularly. Ben, hail to you, dude, and more power to you. I had that in college, and I miss it, seriously, every single day. I miss that brotherhood. I miss meeting up with those guys. We would meet up every single week on a Sunday or a Tuesday, sometimes both, and it was centered in our masculinity. It was centered in our faith. I miss those dudes every single day, and I'm so glad that you found that there. So yeah, Twitter is a cancer, man. It's the worst. They're a Christian band. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll have to listen to their stuff, man. Thank you. Money and stuff have no value without character and morality. Amen. Roman gets it. As a military commander himself, he understands. I get the feeling Max's paper is going to be too based for his teacher. Dr. Rachel, you know what? What's interesting is my teacher's pretty based. This particular one for this paper is actually super based. So I'm going to go all in. I'm going to go balls deep in this one, boys, because I'm like, you know what? We're going to make this thing good. Jay says, pointing out the issue isn't enough. If it makes us mad, we need to lead in word and example. Great way of articulating that, Jay. Because yeah, I can preach all I want on this platform, and I can make videos and talk constantly about this stuff, but unless I live this out, I'm just another fake poser, right? Like, unless we all are living these things out and not just virtue signaling, we're just pathetic losers that are, you know, not adhering to the values that we've set for ourselves. Now, I will say that we fail. We are broken people, and we will always fail. And that is fine. That is okay. I fail every single day, every single hour. I fail and I sin and I'm broken and all that stuff. But I try as much as I can to at least live out the values that I've tried to set for myself. So, and the values that Christ has set for me, and the disciplines that he has set for us as Christians. Nomi says, Max, I haven't felt oppressed or heard anything sexist from you. As a woman of color, you have my forgiveness. Oh, thank you, Nomi. I feel absolved of my transgressions. Thank you. That feels so good to hear. But seriously, I do appreciate your based takes, Nomi. Rachel says, oh yes, another base teacher. Do it, Max. Yeah. Base the teacher and become the master. Yep. Gotta out-base the teacher. Yeah, see, the thing is if I were to use this paper anywhere else, I would just get so... Because essentially, the history of the Marine Corps is patriarchal in itself, right? Like the history of the Marine Corps and the military in general is very colonizing and all this kind of stuff. Like, people will find any reason to hate on military or Marines in general. So yeah, of course, if I were to write my paper on Marine Corps leadership for any other class, it would be fucking thrown in the trash. Jay says men need to make room for and actively support the voices of women who they see as great leaders. We need courage. I lost you. We need courage in the face of attacks from both men and fellow women. We need your support. Hail! Great point, Jay. Yeah, I think men can do a lot for this cause and for this, like, you know, for this culture war, if you want to call it that. But by sharing out, like you said, Jay, these voices, by supporting these voices, by supporting these women, by allowing space for these women to like talk and share their experiences. But it's ultimately the women who have to speak out on that in the first place to allow men to say, hey, look at this girl, you know, look at the bravery, look at the courage, look at the sacrifice. This chick right here is a badass and she's actually doing work. Let's go support her. And then that comes into, like I said, that initial movement of those women standing up and being like, we're not going to take this anymore. These are our kids. This is our culture. This is our homeland. These are our men. And we're going to make it hard to see boobs again. Like, that's what it's got to be, you know, unfortunately, because men, you know, like for men, it's way easier to see boobs right now. But it's making us weak. It's making us weak. We can't stand for that. And a lot of guys are going to be fucking pissed at me for saying that. Because they're going to be like, Max, shut up. Dude, I can see boobs anytime I want. You shut your mouth. But I would argue that you would have more purpose in life, men. I would argue that you would have more purpose and more accountability and more respect for your fucking self if you knew that boobs were harder to look at. It's true. Because we would start fucking doing great shit again. We would start building empires. We would start building beautiful pieces of art. We would create. We would start all these different beautiful ways of helping the community and saving lives. Men would start doing some fucking incredible stuff if it was difficult for us to see boobs again. Oh, man. I like to take myself seriously at times. I try not to be too goofy on this channel. I do like... I think it's smart to laugh at things, and I think that it's good not to take yourself too seriously. But in all actuality, I myself am a more serious person. So when I do laugh, I think it's good, but I also don't think that I'm not funny. You know what I mean? So the laughter is more so just kind of trying to get a point across, I guess. Josh, what's up, dude? He goes, MVP. What's up, man? Great to see you here. You missed a whole hour of ranting, my brother. Jacob Ironside, what up, dude? Good to see you. Silverlock, he says, it's crazy how men are hated by a certain group, but at the same time have been saying men make the best women. A male woman of the year, men winning women's sports, men winning beauty contests. Silverlock, you got a great point, my dude. You got a great point. And I think even women who tend to be more left, even they are now standing up and saying, whoa, 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 whoa. Are you telling me that a man just won this woman's competition? Are you telling me that a man just asserted his male dominance and patriarchal nature and took over this feminine sport? What the fuck are we doing here? I think that's a great point, Silverlock. I think it's unfortunate that we're at this place now, but it is true. Like, at this point in time, we are now seeing kind of a change, at least I would hope, that women are starting to take accountability for like these dudes that are walking in and going, yeah, I'm a girl, totally. Or as Josh would call her, what was her name? Linda, Josh? Or no, it was like Tammy? Something like that, I forget. Hi, I'm Tammy. Yeah, it's weird because like when men want to enter into women's spaces, it's patriarchal or oppressive or domineering or whatever. But when a man assumes that he's a female and then goes into a woman's space, he's applauded. They're like, so brave. He's so brave. And it's like, what? Help me understand this. We need courage from men and women, and we need people who are willing to teach those values to the next generations. Teachers, parents, community. Sorry, let me read that one more time. We need courage from men and women, and we need people who are willing to teach those values to the next generations. Great point as well. Like I was talking about, I think leaders in different spaces of teaching, coaching, mentors, bosses, managers, like literally anyone that you can think of, editors, producers, like people in all these different spaces that could potentially be great mentors and leaders of a lot of these great values. But off topic, what's up, Joe? Good to see you, brother. Is leaving Disney effective immediate? Whoa. What? Wow. Breaking news. This just in, people. Breaking news. We have live on scene right now. Joe Corallo, is that you? Yes. Yes, we're getting news from Joe Corallo. Bob Chapek is leaving Disney effective immediately, and Bob Iger is back in control now. Is that what I'm... Yes, that is the confirmation that we're getting from Joe Corallo on the street, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for that information. Wow. That's big news, man. Yikes. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. I wonder if also Bob Chapek left of his own validity. Or if he stepped down. Like, yeah, if he stepped down or if he was fired. Josh goes, thank God. Let's not be tyrannical now. Easy times make for soft men make for hard times. The chase is better than the catch. Seeing boobs are one thing, but it's way better when the woman you love offers hers to you. Ooh, Paul, good point. I mean, Max just has to turn around and look at his own figures in comics if he wants to see boobs. I don't know what you're talking about, Rachel. All of these dudes are men. I can see pecs. I mean, that one's a girl, but Huntress is fully clothed. She's got her bits covered up. I don't know what you're talking about. I do this work as a professional in leadership training. I would not survive the pushback if it wasn't meant for men who have championed my work through their leadership. Amen, Jay. There you go. A like real life experience of like someone who has seen what men can do when they allow those women to actually speak up, and when men like promote a lot of these pieces of work. Because there are like organizations and corporations and whatever you want to call them that are more patriarchal, and that sucks. And so women that are in those spaces that like can't be seen because the men are just so oppressive, like don't get me wrong, those places exist, and that fucking blows. And I would never want to be distasteful and take away from those women's like hardships, right? From those individuals' struggle. So yeah, if there is a man in that office that is courageous enough to be like, hey, this girl's got a great fucking plan and I think we should use it, cool. And that's, like you said, I would not survive the pushback if it wasn't for men who have championed my work through their leadership. Also, like you said, pushback, I think there's a good back and forth. If something's fucked up, both you and the man have to tell each other that, you know? I jump in and Max is dropping F-bombs about boobs being harder to look at. My question is, what about moobs? Josh, I think you want to see pecs, not moobs, my friend. No one wants to see moobs. We all want to see pecs. All right. Ash, boobs have plenty of power. Are you kidding me? Look at Power Girl. Her whole power set is just boobs. When was the last time you had a meaningful conversation with Jacob? Dropping bombs. He says, okay, so you can go look at boobs anytime you want, right? Well, when was the last time you had a meaningful conversation with a woman? Wow. Dropping bombs, my friend. It's been a while. It has been a while, truthfully, you know? Being too serious can push people away. Learning to interject humor into serious topics can keep value of your points while keeping people tuned in and listening. Great point. Thank you. I'll have to catch the playback. I love a good rant. Oh yeah, Josh, you're missing out on a good rant. Zaxx, what's up, dude? Zaxx is in the chat. Tina, yes, thank you. Why was I thinking of, Tina. What's up, Phil? Good to see you, dude. Bob Chapek leaving Disney. Yep. Let's see. Sorry, I missed all your guys' chats. What happened to the days when people just said no? Let's go to... Let's see. Oh, Zaxx, you found Comic Aficionados. Man, you have years worth of content for you. I have just recently been accepted into the Comic Aficionado space within the past year or so. So you can find me on there every now and then. But Josh and where is he? Drew and Joe are all on that show and do an incredible job. So I have meeting conversations on Wednesday night with Tugs and X-Ray. That's true, Paul. That's true. Hail Roman of the Empire for 7 months, brother. He goes, in my time in the military, I cared who could do the job. Man, woman, race, don't give a fuck. Are you good at the job? That's what mattered. Amen. Amen. Well said, dude. Well said. Let's see. Oh, what's going on? Matt317. Dude, good to see you in the chat. I want to clarify. I made the moobs comment before I actually knew what Max was talking about, and then I realized how perfect the comment was despite making it out of context. Sure, Josh, sure. It's a very carefully worded statement from Disney. Interesting, Drew. Yeah, see, that's very... Yeah. I'm trying to think of the correct terminology here to use, but very suspicious, maybe. Very sus, as the kids would say. Great crew here tonight. Absolutely, Zaxx, yeah. If you guys are here and you guys are enjoying this conversation, I know I've been having a pretty big rant this first hour of the stream, but if you guys have been liking what I've been saying and talking about, leave a like on the video. Support by donating through either the StreamYards link or the Streamlabs link, or you can always go through Mama Susan. There's nothing wrong with that, leaving something on the YouTube side of things. But yeah, I appreciate you all of you guys hanging out here with me and being here tonight, and also those dope ass memberships. Yeah, Matt, I just heard it here first. Max, that is good. Chapek was wrecking Disney. Okay, I know I've tried to stay as far away from Disney as possible. So the fact that this is good news, I'm fuck yeah, I'm on board. Let's do it. All right, let's do it, boys. Because I trust both Josh and Joe and Drew as well. So when they say that this is good, then I will trust their judgment. Bob Iger coming back to play hero. The news bit with Joe, says Josh. Yeah, gotta add a little bit of levity. Okay, I think I'm all caught up here. Whew. Yeah, good old Tina. Good old Tina. So that is basically what I wanted to discuss when it comes to the masculine and feminine counterparts and how they interact with each other and how we can kind of be looking for that on Twitter or out in the world. Like I said, it holds a special place to me because I think masculinity is extremely important for men to recognize now. I've also seen and dated someone who was very, very heavily intertwined with the intersectional feminist ideals. And that sucks. As a guy, it makes you feel like a piece of shit. And I don't want that for women. I don't want that for men. I don't want that for anyone. It sucks, and it's a terrible feeling. So I wanted to bring that up today because, like I said, I read this in the book, and I was like, dude, what a better way of starting the stream with an hour-long talk on one sentence, of one chapter in this book and one sentence. So, but yeah, if you guys are just hopping in on the stream, I would highly recommend that you guys go watch the first hour of this or go watch the replay once this is over, because I think the chat is on fire tonight. You guys are bringing up some great points, and I also think that some of these quotes in these books are really intellectual, very I think discerning, and kind of tells us not only a lot about ourselves but a lot about what we're experiencing right now. So all right, so while I check the chat here, if you want to support creators, Stream Elements is the way to go, and it's not close, but any support is support. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And thank you for saying that. Yeah, I have the Stream Elements link pinned at the top of the comment, the box here. I also have it pinned in the description. It goes directly to your creator, your favorite creator. So it circumvents the old Mama Susan train. And it's a great way to support. But if you guys can't do that, or if it's easier to go through YouTube, I mean, either one. I love seeing the support and seeing you guys on here. And also, like I said, the memberships are fun too, because you can get some fun, interesting content that is behind the scenes, behind the curtain. So that's also a fun... Why is this not working? All right, so let's go ahead and get into... Okay, let me ask you guys this. Do you prefer this? So here's what we got going on tonight. Let me go ahead and pop this bad boy on so you guys can have a better look at that. Do you guys prefer this screen where you guys can see what's going on here with the models, see what's going on with the chat, but also can see me? Or do y'all prefer this cam? So this is full screen, you guys can see what's going on with the models and whatnot. Let me see if that'll focus. Yes, no. And I didn't know what to do with the chat. I guess I could put the chat here. It's super small. But then it kind of cuts off the rest of the screen. So I'll put a poll in chat and I'll ask if you guys want to do scene 1 or scene 2. How about that? So this is scene 2. This is scene 1. Scene 1. Scene 2. Scene 1. Scene 2. It feels like Wayne's World when he's like, camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. The big screen when the camera isn't fighting you. Oh, looks like 82% so far. Nice, nice. Yeah, it is kind of a hand model cam, isn't it? Oh, it looks like this guy's actually coming off his base, too. I might need to rebase him. There we go. Look at that. Like I said, this is going to be... Oh. This is going to be scene 1. This is going to be scene 2. I feel like I'm at the eye doctor when it's like focusing. Sometimes it takes a second, but once it's there, yeah, buddy. Ooh, it's closer than I expected. 76 are still for scene 2, so I'm gonna go with scene 2 as of right now. I must indulge with the poll, unless we got some fake pollers, unless we got some mail-in ballots for the poll, which is illegal. Corwin's Pattern says, I gotta bounce. Hey, dude, thanks for being here tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And yeah, hope to see you soon on another live stream. If I don't see you, have a great Thanksgiving, brother. All right. I am going to be right back. I'm going to... what up, Chewy? I gotta change out of this hoodie. It is hot as balls over here. Hey, we're back. All right, much better. I'm gonna end the poll, and yeah, it looks like we got a good amount of you saying scene 2 is what y'all ended up choosing. So, I'm waiting for 2 a.m. to cast my vote. Yeah, I've only sent 3 votes. 2 of them went to my cats. Silverlock asks, what are you using for your top-down cameras? So for my top-down camera, what I'm using for this guy, what you see with my hand right here, this is a Canon EOS Rebel 3, I think it's called. And then the one that I'm using right now for my face, let's see, this guy, this is a Canon EOS M200, M500. I gotta check with Quarter Black again, because he was the one who had sent me the link and encouraged me to grab this one, which is actually the same one that Gary uses, same one that Quarter Black Garrett uses. So I want to say it's a Canon EOS M200 or 500, something like that. And then, like I said, this camera that you see, the top down, is a Canon EOS Rebel 3, something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna move this a little bit out of the way so that that's not too invasive, and hopefully you guys can still hear me, essentially. But yeah, dang, this guy, his base. So Gideon, as per usual, as Gideon would or could or should, he knocked this guy over as I was trying to put him together. And when he did, this little piece came off his backpack here. And it looks like he is now also off his base. I don't know if you can see him kind of moving. So I've got to glue him back on. Now, I'm actually debating if I should take him off this base or put him on one of these bases. Let's see if that'll focus. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but these are custom built bases with like skulls on the front of them here, and like cobblestone, like concrete. Oh, Jay says, oh, where did that go? Women achieve greater things when they are not distracted by shoulders and guns. I don't know what you're talking about, Jay. I don't see any shoulders or guns on the stream whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, how will you make it through the stream? So these are, yeah, like I said, these are some cool custom bases that you can actually buy. Like some people will utilize Etsy, and there are other websites that you can buy that people like custom 3D print some of this stuff. So I'm debating if I want to use those. This dude's bases are incredibly well done. Another like cobblestone set. It doesn't have the skulls on them, but still a great piece nonetheless. Just really clean, super dope. And like I said, I think the cobblestone is a good fit for the Black Templars, or like the concrete / cobblestone. That's what this guy's on right now, but it's like a different, it's like a rockcrete as opposed to a concrete. So but yeah, bases for days, lots and lots of bases. So I got to figure out, and then I also got these larger, these like massive bases. So for some of your main hero characters, you can actually get bigger bases for them, as they are dedicated to like a hero class in the game. So when they move based off of their actual like size, the circumference of their base. So this is like more of a hero character one. So I'll most likely put someone with some badass weaponry on there, and hopefully that'll work out. I got some capes. These I thought were kind of cool. Like I said, all of these are custom made, and all of these are 3D printed. And I don't remember who it was that printed these or built these. So, and I also have to be careful because I don't want to, like, sometimes Games Workshop gets real picky about who they let print stuff that is very much in the same realm as like Games Workshop models. So you kind of got to be careful with that. John Baker says, at a Warhammer store, I was telling my kids how the Tyranids are bad guys. Oh no, not this. The store associate said there are no bad guys in Warhammer 40k. I just looked at her and told her no. Oh man. John, this has been a... so you could say the Space Marines are based? Absolutely, you could. This has been an issue with Warhammer 40k for maybe like the past few years or so. Not a long time. It really started when this whole identity politic culture war shit started happening. But Games Workshop essentially started saying that the Space Marines were colonizers and they are they're pretty much just Nazi war criminals, and they're, you know, like the Imperium is the German SS and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, dude, in a futuristic world in the 41st millennium of the galaxy, if there is nothing but demons, aliens, and orcs, I'm pretty sure the only good people are going to be humanity and mankind that are trying to preserve their culture without it being deteriorated and eaten by literal tyrannid aliens, orcs that are just in it to kill things, or demons that are looking to either purge you, condemn you, rape you, or literally just have you bleed out. Like, those are the different demons that want to kill you. So it's funny that people, well, it's not really funny. I'm flabbergasted by the notion that people would think that the Space Marines are the bad guys. They are absolutely the heroes of the 41st millennium. And even on the box sets, it has said that since the 80s, the heroes of the 41st millennium are the Space Marines. So that's pretty funny that you said that, John, because if that fake geek girl in that Warhammer store was like, actually there are no good guys, they're bad guys. No. Just no. Sorry, you're just wrong. That's all you have to say. Demons have their own truth. Speak their truth. Speak the demon truth. Max, breasts need to be harder to see. It's making men weak. Also, Max, casually showing off his own sex appeal. Listen, if women can do it, no, I'm kidding. I would never sell myself on that. So you could say, Josh says hashtag size matters. In this case, yes. Okay, so what else? I got these are Imperial heads, so I want to make at some point a Roman Legionnaire army, or at least a Roman Legionnaire squad. So I bought the custom-made torsos, the custom-made heads, and some other pieces like shoulder pads and backpacks and stuff that will be specifically for the Roman Legionnaires. Here's another cool. Let me see if I can pull one of these guys out, because they look like centurions. Like, the helmets are very reminiscent of the centurion helmet. Yeah, see the little broom brush on his head? That's essentially what the centurions wore. So at least the higher up and the generals, I think, would wear those. So I got a couple of those. Like I said, some capes, some shoulder pads. Let's go ahead and start cleaning this guy off, though, because I do need to see if I can get some of the glue off of this backpack that was originally there. So looks like Corey is off to bed. See you, Max, and good night, chat. Later, Corey. Great to see you, brother, and have a fantastic rest of your night. If I don't see you, like I said, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, those East Coast people, it's getting late out there for y'all. As the Canadians would say, Okay, so I've essentially removed most of the glue, I think, from this piece for the most part. So I want to remove it from this piece as well. Yes, dang, look at that. John Baker coming in hot. He says horsehair, transverse crest. Dude knowing more about this than I do. If we're being fair, the Germans were shite colonizers. Amen, Zaxx. Space Marines might be Eldar hair. Huh. All about the lids, custom headwear. Yeah. Shieldwall says, will I be doing a turkey for Thanksgiving? I will not specifically, but my mom and dad will be. The family will be. So I will be going to my mom and dad's place to celebrate with them and some extended family members that are going to come by as well. A couple cousins, a couple uncles and aunts. So we will celebrate there. We're going to have turkey, we're going to have stuffing. We're going to have all the fixins, but we're also going to do a couple other things like, I think we're also going to have mac and cheese this year, which is wild. I don't know if you guys do mac and cheese for Thanksgiving, but I just got a whiff of that glue, boys. That is wild. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys do the mac and cheese for Thanksgiving or whatnot, or if you've ever done that, or if that's even a thing. But we're going to try it this year and see how it turns out. Because it's like a fan favorite everywhere, right? Like, everyone loves mac and cheese. Oof. I need to place that more forward. Now we're cooking with oil. All right. See, he's got that little crest on the top of his backpack. That's what we're trying to glue onto here. Yeah, it is kind of like a 5-cheese mac and cheese, Shieldwall. Paul says, since I went to ACU, does that mean you will be in Texas? Unfortunately, brother, I will not. My family, my mom and dad are actually not from... Excuse me, they are not from Texas. I went to Texas because I wanted to get out of California, and ACU was a perfect way to do that. It was a Christian school. It allowed me to play football. It allowed me to study theology and kinesiology, so it kind of did hit everything on my list. So I ended up going there, even though I'm not from Texas. So, but all my family and friends, or like I guess I could say second family and friends, all live in Texas, where my like immediate family isn't anywhere near Texas. Rachel, it's ooh, Nomi, tamales sound good. Yeah, Rachel, it's funny that you say that you're more of a night owl. Now that this master's program has like kicked in and it's in full effect, right? I like totally understand the night owl mentality now. Like, I don't even think about going to bed until like it's past 11 p.m. And then I start thinking about like, okay, I should probably start winding down. But before then, like, nah, still totally awake. All right, I'm hoping it's real loose, but this plastic glue is supposed to be like cement. Come on, boy. The thing that you have to worry about is like sometimes if you put too much glue on, it'll just glob on. So then when you actually paint the model, you've got this big like glue mark or this like mold line that just looks awful. Looks like it's a little off center, but that's okay. In the grand scheme of things, it still looks cool. All right, if I keep touching it, I'm just gonna keep ruining it. So I'm gonna leave it there, and hopefully that stays there for now. I'm gonna put him. Can you guys see him if he's right here? Yeah. Texas is a great place, but if you're not careful, you'll get lost with how big the state is. I can see that, Soul. I actually love driving around Texas, though. Grad school does that to you because classes are all at night. Exactly. We will adopt you into the Texan family. Use a toothpick to apply glue sometimes. Yeah, Shieldwall, that's a good... so I used to use just the actual bottle itself, and that was just infuriating. So I went with the brush now, because the brush is just beautiful. Just mwah, applies everything perfectly. So Dang Max is hoping to maybe drop in and buy you a beer. Yeah, I'm sorry, brother. Next time, though. I do plan on going back to Texas soon because I love it there and I miss all my friends. Like I said, I'd say probably 90% of my best friends live there. Like, not from, not just in general, but like 90% of my friends from college that I have made, you know, essentially like second families with, all live in Texas right now. Actually, one of my best friends who lived out in California moved to Texas. So he was out here and then I was like, oh, you're leaving me? And then, yeah, he went and started a life in Texas with his wife and they just had a kid. So I'm super stoked for them. They just had an anniversary, I think, but. Oh, let me check Stream Elements there. Yeah, it is unfortunate that Stream Elements does such a poor job of like, I think I have to actually go in and see if I can have it notify me through my chat, because otherwise, like, I would have no idea who's donating. So, hey, look at that. Holy crap, dude, Silverlock, thank you so much, man. Silverlock, I don't know if you're still in the chat or not, but he says for $20, he says a donation to the Model and Comic Book Fund. Hey. Thank you, sir. That's awesome. Thank you for the 20, brother. And for you, here you go. And while I look at this other super chat from our lovely, wonderful Dr. Rachel for $15. Rachel, thank you again. You guys are on fire. Thank you. She says, I appreciate you being real and talking passionately about topics like masculinity without raging all over the place. Hail to you, Max. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the good path. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. I know that I can get passionate about and heated a lot about a lot of these topics. So I appreciate you saying that, because I do have to cool it every now and then. But I also want to, you know, get my point across in a manner or in a way that is meaningful. So thank you for the 15, and for you, here you go.
I bid you stand, man of the West!
Hell yeah! And Silverlock says, still here. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you guys so much for the tips. I appreciate it more than y'all know, especially with Christmas coming up. And looking for those good deals for mom and dad. Thankfully, I don't know about you guys, but if y'all have siblings and stuff, do you just get them money? Do you just give them money, or do you get them gifts for Christmas? The bolt gun gameplay from new Warhammer 40k Dark Tide game. They make a proper bolter for that game. Ooh. I'll have to look into that. You know, to be fair, I am not a gamer whatsoever. I am awful at gaming. I don't know the first thing about gaming. I don't know the first thing about consoles. Like, do certain games play on certain consoles? Do all games play across all consoles? Is console gaming better than PC gaming? Should I start with PC gaming and move to console gaming? How much is it? You know, like, what game should I be playing? Do I do a live game, or do I go to the campaign? Like, I am the worst, most noob gamer out there. So, yeah. Dr. Rachel says, you never come across as hateful. Oh, well, thank you. I see, that is when I would have to, as the Gen Zers say, check my privilege. Because yeah, that would truly be like when I've lost my audience, right? Or when I've lost my temper or my cool. is when I can't get my point across because I'm just like raging. And that's not what we want to do here. We want to actually get a point across and actually be intentional with the words that we speak. Which is tough, especially when you're live, because you don't have a script. Sometimes I'll have notes, but you're kind of talking off of what, like off of an unscripted, unprompted topic that you are passionate about. And so if you're good at that, you can be pretty good at live streaming. But if you're not, it's very, very difficult then. So if you guys are wondering, what the hell is he doing? Why does he have an X-Acto blade with all these pieces of gray gold? Well, if you must ask, I am cleaning off the mold lines for a lot of these pieces. So if you guys can see, this is an arm holding a chainsword for one of my Black Templar Space Marines. And essentially when Games Workshop builds these figures, they print them through a mold process. And so they have to, like, whenever they're like making it on one of these pieces, there will be a mold line that you have to get rid of. And I don't know if you, like, there's a knot right here that you have to get rid of from the mold. And so I just like to clean those off before I actually put the model together. Now, this one's cool because this one also, I was looking into some custom pieces. This is a dual-wielded chainsword that I thought looked bad-ass. So, like, if we look at the actual figure with the dual-wielded, or not dual-wielded, but double-handed, double-hander boys, that looks freaking cool as hell. Put some shoulder pads on that bad Larry. So I definitely like how the two-hander looks. The other option would be the one-hander and then a bolt gun. Ooh, interesting. I think I missed what it, Oh, dude, Jacob, doesn't that clip is like the best, right? Nomi says, I give my brother and sister money for Christmas. They have a finer taste in fashion than I. Shieldwall, we do not have time for that rabbit hole. Exactly. Jacob says I just give them artwork, which, by the way, Jacob, that piece of art that you made on Twitter, man, hail to you, brother. That thing was gorgeous. I'm our family. We only buy gifts for immediate family, and then for the kids of extended family. Okay. Man, that's a lot still. We try really hard, says Josh, to let the kids be kids for as long as possible. Santa is alive and well. Hey, yes! Amen! I'm so happy to hear that. Santa needs to be alive and well in every household. I am a true believer of that. In the world of 40K, build your army, go to the tabletop with dice, old school. PC gaming comes after that for me. I can see that. You're going to make that dude trans with that scalpel, you can be honest. Oh no, Zaxx. Yeah, trans Space Marines. That's all we need. That's going to be next. I appreciate spending time with the loved ones more than gifts. Amen, Paul. That's a great way of putting it. Is that an eviscerator? I don't know. I think this is just a regular Primaris Space Marine shield wall. If you're talking about the weapon, I think it's just a regular bolter and chainsword. This one, the double-handed chainsword is something different, and I don't know if that is what you would call an eviscerator or not. But yeah, the two-handed chainsword is cool, right? So I need to actually check and see if this one has any mold lines. Wow. Surprisingly. Wow. Okay. Let's go, boys. This has very few mold lines on it, if any, honestly. A few things that I could probably trim down a bit, but like... Let's see. Oh, that's cool, Jay. Jay, that sounds like Yule. Do you guys celebrate Yule? Right? Because it's not, it's technically Christmas, but it's technically not, I guess. Oh, the two-hander chainsword, the Repenta from the Sisters of Battle use them. I have seen that one. The Sisters of Battle. Talk about badass. Okay, much better. Oh, thank you, Nomi. That is something that I have enjoyed as well from other creators. So like when I watch, I think, aha, yes, Yule. Nice. Yeah, when I watch other creators and they do build streams like this, it's super relaxing. It's nice because I can either do some other stuff while having the stream on. I can like, you know, do some homework or study, or I can like build with the streamer who's like building as well. So I just like to do it every now and then though, because it's fun for you guys to kind of see a different aspect of the live streams. Now, I'm debating if we should use one of the custom heads here. Oh, dude, Josh, you are too kind, brother. For $9.99, he says, hitting the road so I won't be able to chat when you close out. Happy Thanksgiving, all. Thankful for my health, family, true, genuine friends like Max, and my dog, Ollie. Hey, amen to that, dude. For you, sir, I'm going to give you this guy. Where'd it go? There we go. Dude, Josh, thank you so much for being here, brother. I always appreciate you hopping on these streams and coming in the chat and saying hi, and thank you for your friendship as well, man. Enjoy your Thanksgiving and safe travels to you. Thank you for the donation. So, it actually looks like we are nearing the 2-hour mark. So I am going to sign off for the night. But if you guys are watching this on the replay, catching this on the replay, or if you guys are live, let me know in the chat or in the comments. What did you guys think about the discussion at the beginning of the live stream? Do you think that that could be kind of worked into other live streams? Is that something that you guys want to even hear about or discuss? And then also, what do you guys think about the build streams? I really enjoy doing the build streams, but it's a niche audience, you know what I mean? I could also do them like during the day if I have time. So yeah, it's lots of different ideas that we could work with. And if you guys are members, you can actually comment on some of the videos that I do and ask me questions through there, and so we can discuss things like that. Rachel says you're doing 3 hours to make up for last week. Oh gosh, that's right. Yeah, because that's right. I only did 1 hour last week. Damn, y'all are calling me out. Hey, look at that. Dude. Paul Bussell coming in hot. Gifting 5 MVP memberships. Dude, thank you so much for the memberships. That is awesome. Nice. And yeah, thank you so much, Paul. Yeah, for the win, dude. John says, great stream MVP. Great chatting with you all. Yeah, thanks, man. Paul says, love you guys. Love you too, brother. This one is for you, man.
No mercy!
Speaking of Spartans, as we were talking about Spartans earlier in the stream. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I would love to get your take. The other thing too is I have reached out now. I'm 0 for 4. I'm 0 for 4. I've reached out to 4 different creators and none of them have gotten back to me, which is fine. I understand. This is a business, people, whatever. I'm not going to say anything more. But I've reached out to 4 different women, actually, that have larger channels that I want to have on the channel to discuss these kind of topics of like masculinity, femininity, what that looks like in comic books, what that looks like in pop culture. So I've reached out to Anna, That Star Wars Girl, Melanie Mack, Alex. I don't know if you guys have heard of Alex from Twitch. And what was the last one? Oh, and Carrie Smith. I honestly think Carrie Smith would probably be the best for the conversation. I think she's very level-headed. She's very well-spoken, intelligent, knowledgeable. I met her at the Dallas fan meetup, and I've reached out to those 4 individuals. I think one other one, and I haven't heard anything back. Oh man, so hey, that's what you got to do. I understand. I have a smaller channel on this platform, and I understand this is a business, so I just got to keep growing the channel, got to keep marketing, got to keep talking to people. Hopefully it's not me. I hope that they're not responding because they're like, oh, this guy, so and I hope it's more of just like a business decision that they're trying to make, but I was looking forward to having a conversation with some of them to actually discuss some of the things that we talked about earlier. You know what I mean? Like, hell, what's her name? Chrissy Mayer does an entire podcast, an entire live stream, the Simcast thing, about other topics. I don't actually know what they talk about there, but that whole arena I feel like would be interesting to talk to. But yeah, so only hard part is asking. Oh, I do a lot of asking. I mean, the marketing aspect of things is I can do that all day. I mean, that's how I got Odin on the stream. I emailed Odin and I was like, dude, you want to come on? And he was like, hell yeah, that sounds awesome. Literally within like an hour. So I've emailed Odin. He's been on the stream. Who else have I had on the stream? that's like a larger name. I had Mark with a C on the stream. That was great. I had reached out to him and he said yes. I've even reached out to Gary for some help with the channel, and even he's been able to respond for some emails or text messages and meeting up at comic conventions and stuff like that. So I've had other creators on the show, and I reach out to other people to ask if they want to be on. Wes from Thinking Critical, another huge channel. So yeah, I think it's probably, at least I hope, fingers crossed, that just wrong time, wrong place. So, but like I said, I would love to do videos like that in the future with other creators that could bring something else to the conversation or add to it. Because yeah, those Odin videos were so much fun to do, and he has such a way with how he speaks and the intentionality with which he speaks that I was just blown away. It was so great to listen to him. Same thing with Josh. Like Josh has been on this channel when we've talked about comics before, and the way that he's able to articulate stuff is just perfect, right? So I always like having those individuals on so that they can discuss things that I might not have the knowledge or the wisdom or the discernment to talk about. So, Soul, what happened to McKenna? So McKenna is off doing like full-time work out back in her hometown, and absolutely loving it, man. So she kind of got away from the YouTube stuff because she's doing so well with her like real life stuff, and so I didn't want to take her away from that. And I keep up with her every week or so. We talk and chat, and she's doing great. But you know, I didn't want to drag her into YouTube if that's something that she didn't even want to do. So I never strike out with the men. This is true, Rachel. Have you seen these shoulders? Have you seen this tank top? I never strike out with the guys. Owen's a good guy. Mark with a C is a good choice. Yeah, dude, those guys, like I said, so well spoken. So well spoken. And thank you guys for watching those videos. I loved making those things. I sure they get a ton of requests. Wouldn't be to do with you. They'd actually be more likely if they knew you. Maybe Zaxx. We'll see. I always like attach my YouTube channel and a video to be like, hey, I'm not a fucking creeper. You know what I mean? I'm not a weirdo. I'm not spamming you with some marketing scheme. Like, I'm an actual person with an actual channel. So I think I try and do that to allow whoever it is that I'm looking to create more content with and do videos with. I always try and do that so that they understand what's going on. Good contrast between heavy topic at beginning and chill build at the end. Thanks. I'm glad to hear that, Jay. I want Josh on my channel for some smash or pass. You know Josh would be down to do some of that for sure. Maybe start with the girls you know better. Example, poor choices. Yeah, X-Ray and Tugs are both great choices, poor choices, to have on the channel. And I bet they would bring in some great feedback in terms of like, they would have some great talking points with some of this stuff. So that's a good point, Jay. Melanie is on Simcast tonight. Want me to go ask her in chat? No, Paul, no, dude, that's totally fine. But thank you, sir. I do appreciate that. You have done enough tonight. You've gifted me those subs earlier. No need to do anything else. Rachel says, speaking as a woman, I wouldn't turn down Max, but I don't have a channel, so I'm not worth asking. No. Don't say that. Don't say that. I'm just looking for, I think the reason why I've reached out to those individuals in particular is because I think that their voice has been very loud, intentionally on those particular topics. So I thought that it would be like, the reason why I had Odin on was because I knew that Odin would be able to speak very intelligently on the aspect of Christianity, right? Or Catholicism and religion in general. The reason why I had Mark on, because Mark is an extremely intelligent dude who understands the nuances of like diversity and inclusion and racial tension and stuff like that. And so he could speak to that aspect of geek culture and nerd culture within the confines of the culture war. So everyone that I ask is very intentional. Same thing with Josh. Well, Josh I actually asked because he's just really good looking. So I was like, I need someone on the channel who's going to bring in the sex appeal. So I brought on Josh. No, I'm kidding. I have had Steph on the channel before. That is true. She's great. She is so much fun to have. She's she's super funny, and her laugh is extremely contagious. Nomi, I'm not gonna get into Brittany Venti. Anyway, we have gone over time, and I know I only did an hour last week, so I owe you guys an hour at some point. Maybe later this week I can do another build stream and we'll add another hour onto that. But yes, I love having you guys here. Thank you so much for another really fun stream. This was excellent. I really do think that these talking points are important, and I love discussing them with y'all. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to some of the chats tonight because you guys were just on fire, so I wasn't able to read all of them. They're making some serious noise, and it'd be great to have them on the channel. Really hoping they get back to you soon. And if not, it's all right. But hey, when I have 100,000 subscribers, fingers crossed, if that ever happens, or if, like, God forbid, I even make 10,000 subscribers, then, you know, maybe at that point I'll have some clout on the platform to be like, yeah. Zaxx, great to see you, dude. Hey, thank you for being here, and have a great Thanksgiving, man. Have a good night. But yes, Jacob, time flies when you're having fun. No beef with Brittany. I've literally never talked to her at all. Never seen her before. I think that some of her takes are not what I would consider like helpful whatsoever to like what we talked about at the beginning of the stream. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of women know that they can sell themselves based off of a certain look. And then when men say, hey, you're really pretty, or wow, you know, you've got some great whatever, then they can act, I don't know, they can act a certain way where it's like, oh, they're over-sexualizing me, or oh, they're you know, objectifying me or whatever. And it's like, but your image is that. So I don't know. I don't have any beef. I just don't know if her character would match well with the channel here and the values that like most people have on in like, I can equate it to like fake geek girls, essentially claiming one thing and then having another ideology. Or it's complicated because I know that she's friends with a lot of like the people within our group, within our like fellowship and family, and I like hold nothing against her personally. I'm sure she's she's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm sure has some great takes and is really intelligent, but I don't agree with her on most things, and some of the things that she said is just, it just feels ignorant at times, and I could just think of so many other people that would better suit these topics than that. So, like I said, no hate whatsoever towards her. I just think that we have different views. That's totally fine. Great Man Cave as always. Have a good one. Thanks, Rachel. Remember us little people when you hit 100K. That will, yeah. Gosh, I don't ever think that will happen. But if it does, of course, you guys are my family. I must have missed her, Paul. Fun stream, Max. Later, man. Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, later, guys. If I don't see y'all, have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family. Eat a shit ton. Just gorge yourself with food. It'll be totally worth it. And yeah, enjoy your time with each other. If you promise to promote G Fuel or Carnivore Crisp, I think Melanie will join you for a video. Maybe I should switch out my monster for some G Fuel, eh? Well, with that being said, I am going to get back after this essay, so I'm probably going to have another monster and maybe continue on this essay, or maybe continue building. I'm not sure. But, like I said, as always, reject modernity and embrace your legacy. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys next week after the holiday. All right, take care, guys. Bye.